Okay, Phil.
I'm getting too old for this stuff.
Apple just recently concluded their 2024 WWDC event, announcing a boatload of new features for every platform. In this video, I'll be going over the highlight features arriving this fall in iOS and iPadOS, along with a quick dive into Apple's new AI that will be coming to Siri. Having installed the developer beta of iOS 18 on my iPhone 13 mini, we'll start with the home screen. I mean, sure, nothing looks different now, but if I click customize, I can change the appearance of apps. Like I could do a nice subtle dark mode, or select from just about every possible color. Another feature the home screen is receiving is the ability to place apps and widgets freely without them having to be next to each other. The Control Center received a complete overhaul both in its functionality and interface. For example, you can now reposition and resize controls to make it however you want it. Instead of having a long list of controls, it's been divided into sections for different genres, giving everything more space. Jumping over to Photos, it has also received a huge interface overhaul. At first glance, it doesn't seem like anything has changed, but swiping up reveals that all the menu options have been moved to the bottom. Personally, I'm up for the change, but it's going to take some getting used to. Viewing photos does a portrait-like look, while also separating and rounding out other photos in the lower bar. While viewing, if I tap the screen, it will black everything out to view just the one photo or video. Now, for example, let's say you want to hide all your photos and videos completely without moving them into the hidden folder or album. Well, the next feature is the ability to lock an app requiring Face ID, Touch ID, or the passcode to access the app and its content. Messages will be receiving a small handful of features. The first one lets you tap back with any emoji to react to a message. And if you want to be a bit more expressive, you can add effects in a message, making it explode, jiggle, and many more. For those using an iPhone 14 or newer, you'll be able to message via satellite when there isn't any cell service available. For some time now, we've been able to schedule when an email sends out. With iOS 18, it's bringing the ability to do that in Messages. The final major feature coming to Messages is RCS support, making it where when you are texting an Android user or they are texting you, photos and videos sent back and forth won't be compressed, eliminating the pixelated photos and choppy fuzzy videos. On the lock screen, we will be able to finally customize the two lower buttons to do just about anything, from quick launching an app to running a Siri shortcut. It's like as if we are receiving two digital action buttons. Maps is getting a bit of an upgrade as well, bringing topographic maps previously seen on the Apple Watch. This allows you to get navigation for a specific hike you want to do, and get an idea of how long it will be and what its difficulty level is based on its incline. We will be seeing game mode added to prioritize performance for a better gaming experience. This includes improving the latency of wireless controllers to reduce the amount of lag for more real-time actions. There is a new app arriving called Passwords. It's basically moving iCloud Keychain from settings to its own app to make it easier to find. Within the app, you can access all your saved passwords, even the passwords to Wi-Fi networks you've connected to. Finally, the last major feature coming to iOS 18 is Tap to Cash. If you currently use Apple Pay and have Apple Cash set up, you'll be able to bump phones with others to send or receive money. For devices that will be compatible to receive iOS 18 this fall, every iPhone model that runs iOS 17 currently will be able to update, being the iPhone XR and XS or newer. If you are using an iPhone X or older, the update will not be available. Turning over to iPadOS, it will be receiving everything iOS has to offer except for messaging via satellite and Tap to Cash. It does offer its own unique twist, being the addition of the Calculator app. And within the Calculator app, it has a feature called Math Notes. To utilize this feature, it does require an Apple Pencil, but what it allows you to do is write out an equation and it will solve it for you. I am curious to see if I can get it to do basic algebra to solve for x. Nope, it doesn't seem to understand it yet, which is odd considering it can do physics as Apple demoed. It could be that Apple Intelligence isn't in the beta software yet. Notes is receiving an update when it comes to handwriting with Apple Pencil. For example, after writing something out, I can have it straighten out my handwriting. I can also have it clean up my handwriting, and from my experience so far, it seems it may only be available on iPads with an M series chip, as my 10th gen iPad can't do it, whereas my M4 iPad Pro can. For device compatibility, iPadOS 18 will be available on any iPad Pro from 2018 or later, and any iPad, iPad mini, and iPad Air from 2019 or later. Now for one of Apple's biggest features, Apple Intelligence. This will be rebuilding Siri from the ground up when it comes to asking her questions. A few examples being: 1, you can scramble over words and she will still understand what you're getting at. Like you can say, "What's the weather in Los Angeles?" Actually, I meant Cupertino, and she'll give you the weather for Cupertino instead of Los Angeles. For the second example, I'll be building off the first example. After asking for the weather or something involving the city name, you can then ask what hikes are available there, and in this case she will understand you are still referring to Cupertino and pull up some results. The third and final example I have of what you can ask Siri is, "Show me photos of dogs from my photo library." She will then pull up photos, and let's say you tap one. You can then ask her to make the photo pop and she will edit it for you. There is way more than what I listed Siri will be capable of doing, and I might create a dedicated video on Apple Intelligence once it's available in the beta software. This is one of my first videos going over what's arriving in future software updates, and if this video proves to perform well, I'll probably return with one for watchOS and macOS. But until then, I'll catch you guys next time.